Son, you're not here by chance. Even before you clicked on this video, I knew. I saw the weariness in your eyes, the turmoil in your soul, the silent discouragement that no one around you noticed. But I saw it, and that's why I prepared this moment. This is more than just internet content. This is a summons from heaven. It's the final warning. And if you ignore it, you might miss something heaven has waited so long to release. I haven't called you to scare you, but to awaken you. There are things you've been putting off, feelings you've been stifling, and signs you've been ignoring. But now there's no more delay. I'm calling you. I'm knocking urgently on the door of your heart, because time is running out. And your next decision could open or close the cycle of promise. You've prayed so much for a sign, and this is it. The answer you thought would never come has arrived. But it demands attention, it demands dedication. You need to hear it through to the end. Because there's something I've hidden between the lines of this message, and only those who remain until the very last second will receive the full revelation. Now, before we continue, take a deep breath, because what comes next will touch exactly where your pain lies. So if this message already spoke to you in the first few seconds, it's because the whole sky brought you here. And if you felt that shiver, that presence, that silent confirmation, then this word is yours. Don't watch this video as if you're just listening to more content. Watch it as if you've entered a holy place, reserved only for the chosen. Because today, you are not alone. There is a voice calling you to experience a transformation that begins within but will change everything around you. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications. Like this video so this message reaches more lives that also need to wake up. You are part of this. You belong to this movement. And the journey begins now. I know what you feel when no one else sees. I know the pain you couldn't put into words, the thoughts you hide even from yourself. I know the nights you lay exhausted, not physically, but exhausted inside. And you pretended everything was fine, just so as not to worry anyone. You prayed, but seemed unable to even speak my name. You cried silently, but rose as if nothing had happened. You carry a weight you won't confess, even to those closest to you. But I see. I've always seen. You've been walking around with a divided heart, trying to keep your faith alive in a world that insists on hurting you. The words you've heard, the promises you've broken, the doors that have closed when you needed them most. All of this has been building up a dangerous feeling that you're alone, but I need you to listen carefully. You were never alone, even in the silence, even in the absence of signs, even when you thought I had abandoned you. I was there, because I am the God who also dwells in silence. You've been searching for answers, crying out for an explanation, wondering if there's still a plan, if it wouldn't be easier to give up, disappear, stop trying. But before any destructive thoughts can grow inside you, I brought you here to break this cycle now, because the enemy has been whispering lies to your heart. He's made you believe that your pain is invisible, that your story is irrelevant, that your life won't change. But all of this is a sham. You are more important than you realize. Your journey is not in vain. Nothing you've endured has escaped my eyes. Not a tear of yours has been wasted. I was collecting every single one. And now, with the same hand that held you in the darkness, I will reveal to you what was hidden behind the pain. But pay attention. What comes next isn't just comfort. It's a prophetic revelation, something that will change the way you view everything you've experienced so far. Stay with me, because I'm about to show you something no one else has been able to explain. Now answer me honestly. Have you been feeling an emptiness that nothing can fill? A sense of unexplained fatigue, an anguish that comes out of nowhere, as if your soul was silently crying out for help? If so, Describe in the comments which of these spiritual symptoms you've been experiencing most lately. This could be the beginning of your healing. Son, I saw you when no one was looking. I saw the ground disappear beneath your feet and you tried to hide your despair behind a forced smile. I saw you wake up in the middle of the night with your heart racing and pretend it was just anxiety. I saw you keep quiet in the face of injustice because you felt that if you spoke, no one would believe you. I was there. I was there when everyone turned away, when you begged for a sign, when you wished someone would simply listen to you without judging you. And today, I don't just listen, I answer you. This trial you are facing is not a punishment. This scarcity, this silence, this sequence of closed doors, these are not signs of my absence, but of my preparation. I have not abandoned you, I have hidden you. Because what I'm going to do in your life is too great to happen while you are still surrounded by people who do not understand the value I carry within you. I needed to separate you, not to isolate you, but to align you. Because there are things that are only revealed in the desert. There is an intimacy with me that only arises in the absence of noise. Son, today I undo the lie the enemy has planted in your mind. That voice that tells you you're not capable, that you're not loved, that you're forgotten, doesn't come from me. I formed you with a purpose. I know you by name. I know the exact number of strands of hair on your head. And even if you've walked away, even if you've doubted, even if you've silently cried out, God, where are you? Know that I have never stopped being with you. This pain you felt had a time, but it has no destination. It does not define your end. It was the sign of my action. Because all pruning precedes flowering, all war precedes victory, and everything you lost in the process will be restored in ways you never imagined possible. Today, with spiritual authority, I declare over you, the time for change has come, the season of doubt is over, and the season of revelation has begun. You will begin to see with the eyes of the Spirit what until now you have only heard about. And I tell you more, the coming days will not be like the previous ones. You will notice something is different. People who previously ignored you will begin to seek you out. Doors that seemed locked will begin to open. And above all, you will feel a peace that the world does not understand. But that will come straight from my throne. Because this word is for you. This answer is yours. Receive it with faith and remain attentive. What I'm about to reveal now will open your spiritual eyes in ways you've never experienced before. If you felt this word was meant for you, here's a spiritual challenge. Write in the comments, with faith, the phrase, I receive my turning point, and publicly declare that you believe in this new season. Let's form a chain of faith here in the comments, because when you position yourself spiritually, heaven begins to move for you. Are you up for this challenge? Now, close your eyes for a moment and allow yourself to see with the eyes of your soul. Because while you felt alone, confused, on the verge of giving up, a spiritual war was raging all around you. There was an invisible confrontation taking place behind the scenes of your life. I saw the exact moment you considered quitting. And it was precisely there that my angels positioned themselves. They didn't allow the enemy to cross the line. They were there, even when you couldn't see them, because I commanded it, because you are too valuable to be left at the mercy of darkness. See now, in the spiritual world, a path being opened. A cracked ground full of rocks is beginning to align. The stones are being removed. The hidden traps are being deactivated. And there is a light emerging on the horizon, a light that comes not from the sun, but from my Spirit. This light is guiding you, even if your feet do not yet have the strength to run, even if fear still lingers. I am here, and I guide you firmly. Feel the weight lifting from your shoulders, what you were carrying, what you no longer knew how to describe is being ripped away now. because in the invisible world, I have already begun to move what needs to be moved. Demons that tormented you with thoughts of guilt and self-sabotage are retreating. Arrows that came in the night trying to weaken you are being broken before they even reached you, because at this very moment, something is being sealed in the heavens, and your name is being pronounced before my throne. You are not a lost piece on the chessboard of life. You are a purpose in motion, and at this very moment, records are being updated in the spiritual world. People who drifted away without explanation will return. Dreams that seemed dead will be resurrected, and even areas of your life that you had already given up to failure will flourish again, because I, the Lord, am charting a new course, a course you never imagined, but which has always existed. Now visualize a book opening before my altar. The pages are being turned, and on them is written everything you have experienced. But today, a new page is being written, and on it I write with my finger, new season, new time, new cycle, new name, because you will no longer be known for your pain. You will be known for the promise I fulfilled in you. And if all this touches you just by hearing it, wait until you see what I still have to reveal, because what comes next is the explanation your heart has been secretly asking for. Son, I know you don't understand everything right now. I know there are times when your heart fills with questions no one can answer. Why so much waiting? Why so much effort for so little return? Why so many closed doors? So many postponed dreams? So many almosts that never came true? But listen carefully to what I'm going to tell you now. Not everything that seems like a delay is punishment. Sometimes it's protection. Sometimes it's training. Sometimes it's aligning with something much bigger than your mind can currently grasp. You asked me to do great things in your life, but great purposes require great foundations, and deep foundations are only built in silence, in the hidden, behind the scenes of the soul. What you felt as abandonment was actually a time of digging. I was digging deep. Not to bury you, but to root you. Because what grows too quickly and without roots falls at the first storm. And I didn't form you to fall. I formed you to remain standing, even when the winds are contrary. This phase you called darkness was where I worked the hardest. When everyone forgot you, when even you thought about giving up on yourself, it was precisely there that I began to shape what no one sees. Your character, your faith, your identity. I didn't just want to take you to a new place. I wanted to transform who you are so that when you get there, nothing and no one can take you from where I have placed you. Son, you are not outside my plan. You are within a process. And spiritual processes don't always make sense to human eyes. Sometimes I remain silent to see if you still believe. Sometimes I delay to see if you still trust. Sometimes I withdraw to see if you still seek me for who I am, and not just for what I can give. It's not cruelty. It's refined love. Love that prepares, corrects, strengthens, and sanctifies. Everything you've been through so far will make sense. It will fall into place. And when you look back, you won't see pain anymore. You'll see purpose, because I was in every detail. Nothing was in vain. Not a second was wasted. And now that your faith has withstood the fire, I say to you with all authority, you are ready for the next level. But before you cross this new door, I need you to listen to what I'm about to say next. Because what comes next, it's no longer an explanation, it's liberation, and she will change her story. Today I declare with power and glory, the cycle of pain is coming to an end. The time of waiting has already served its purpose. What has kept you stuck until now is no longer allowed to remain. There are things I have permitted for a time, but now, under my authority, I close that chapter. From today on, a new season begins for you. A season of clarity, of movement, of restitution. What was stagnant begins to flow again. What was held back begins to unlock. and what seemed dead. I resurrect with my word. The enemy touched you for a time, but he didn't touch your destiny. He tried, yes. He tried to paralyze your dreams. He tried to convince you that you would never leave this place. He tried to use people, words, losses, and traumas to undermine your strength, but he failed. Because what sustains your life, it's not luck, it's not money, it's not recognition. It's the purpose that I wrote with my hands before you existed, and what I write, no one erases. What I decree, no one undoes. You will begin to notice the signs. You will notice doors that once seemed locked, opening gently and unexpectedly. People who previously ignored you will now seek out what you carry. But it's not about you. It's about what I have placed within you. Heaven is releasing an anointing of honor upon your life. And what was once shame will now become a testimony. What was once scarcity will become abundance. And what once made you cry will be exactly what will make others glorify my name through you. Today, in the spiritual world, I place a new mantle over your life. It's no longer the cloak of waiting. It's the cloak of response. It's no longer the time to be molded. Now is the time to be sent. And wherever you step, my presence will accompany you, because you are no longer the same person who began this video. Something within you has been activated, awakened, sealed. But now, I want to ask you for something simple, a gesture, a commitment, because this next step will mark your life in a way you'll never forget. Now that this word has reached your soul, I ask something of you. It's not difficult, but it's profound, because this gesture you're about to make now isn't for others. It's for you. It's a sign in the natural world of something that has already begun to move in the spiritual world. And every time you act with faith, you activate something that was still dormant. So, touch your heart with one hand, close your eyes for a few seconds, and say sincerely, I receive the new from God. It doesn't matter if you're at home, at work, on public transport, or in silence in your room. Heaven is listening to you. The spiritual environment you're in at this very moment is sensitive to your voice, your attitude, your gesture of surrender. This touch on your heart is more than a symbol. It's a mark, a way of saying, Lord, I publicly assume what you spoke to me in secret. It's a simple act, but loaded with meaning. Because when you act symbolically before a spiritual word, you are telling the universe and the kingdom of darkness that your soul has an owner, that your decision has been made, and that you will not turn back. You are saying, this promise is mine. This change has already begun. I am no longer who I was before this message. This phrase, I receive the new from God, may seem brief to human eyes, but in the heavens it echoes like a decree, like a seal, like a cry of response to the voice that called you. It's a declaration of covenant. It's you saying, Lord, I can't resist anymore. I accept what comes from your throne. I relinquish control. I hand over the reins of my story. I authorize you to do as you please, when you please, in whatever way you please. This isn't a phrase thrown to the wind. It's more than a word. It's a key that opens cycles, that accesses promises, that sets in motion the gears of the plan that was just waiting for an act of faith to begin. Many people hear words like these and are moved, but don't respond. Others feel something strongly, but keep it to themselves, and they end up missing the visitation. Because there are words we only hear, but there are others we need to seal with action. Faith without works is dead. A word without a response is a seed that doesn't germinate. And today, I invite you to go beyond feeling. I invite you to seal, to transform this moment into a milestone, a prophetic memorial that heaven itself will recognize. So, if this message spoke to you, don't remain silent. Write in the comments, with faith and spiritual intention. I receive the last warning from the heavens. This phrase carries authority. It's not an automatic repetition, nor a catchphrase to generate engagement. It's a prophetic act. Every word typed will be like a memorial before me. Every publicly recorded statement will be remembered in due time, because what is done in faith before me is never forgotten. There are passages in Scripture where my servants erected altars as a reminder of their encounters with me. Today, that altar is digital. It is your written word. It is your name exposed in faith. It is your decision to leave a public mark of what I have done in you. And just as I remembered the ancient altars, I will also remember this gesture. I will visit you in due time. I will send answers. I will bring a harvest from the seed you are planting now, even if it seems small. And if this word reached you, if it shook dormant areas within you, if it made you cry, reflect, tremble, then don't keep it to yourself. This experience isn't just personal, it's also missional, because everything that touches your soul deeply needs to reach other souls too. The love you receive today needs to be extended. The comfort that found you in this video needs to be forwarded. There's someone close to you, maybe even someone you don't even know, who is waiting for an answer, for confirmation, for a sign. And you can be that bridge. So share this word with someone. Send this video to that person who comes to mind right now. The one you feel in your spirit needs to hear this. It could be a friend you don't talk to often, a relative who's been distant from God, a fellow believer you've seen become discouraged, or even someone who recently asked you for prayer. Be an instrument, be a channel, because just as I reached you today, there are others who are praying silently for a word like this. Understand, sharing this message isn't just about clicking send. It's about interceding. It's about taking action. It's about obeying. It's about saying, Lord, just as I was touched, I want others to be touched. And every person this video touches through your actions will also be a fruit of your sowing. Heaven will recognize this, because those who carry the word, those who share healing, those who spread light, they are remembered, and nothing done for the love of the kingdom is in vain. My son, today you did more than watch a video. You answered a call. You participated in a spiritual action. You released something with the touch of your hand over your heart, with the sincere whisper of a phrase that sealed a new cycle, and now, with the power to share what you received. This is obedience. This is living faith. This is transformation in motion. And before you leave this video, take a deep breath. Feel what's still lingering in the air. Feel the presence that lingers even after the talk ends. This is my spirit. It doesn't fade away when the video ends. It's still there, breathing, guiding, healing, confirming. And it all began with a simple yet profound gesture. Son, I know how hard it was to get here. I know how much you had to resist, keep quiet, endure. I know the silent battles no one ever suspected you were facing. The days when everything around you kept moving while inside you everything seemed stagnant. I saw you holding back tears so as not to appear weak, when you swallowed your tears so as not to worry those around you, when you felt that if you fell, no one would help you up. I saw you smile at everyone, even though you felt an emptiness no one could fill. I saw your effort to remain strong, even when your heart screamed for rest, for a hug, for an invisible embrace that only heaven could offer. I don't despise your pain. I never have. On the contrary, I recognize it as part of the fabric of your story. Every tear you shed on your pillow, every prayer whispered in the midst of exhaustion, every amen said with a trembling voice while fear still haunted your mind, all of it reached me. No tear was ignored, no sigh of exhaustion went unnoticed, because I am the God who observes deeply, who hears what was unsaid, who feels what you couldn't explain. What human eyes cannot see, I see perfectly. What others interpret as drama or exaggeration, I know as intimate truth, genuine pain, spiritual struggle. You are not too broken to be used. You are not too distant to be reached. You have not failed so much to be discarded. And even if you believe you've wasted time, that you've fallen behind, that it's past time to live the life you dreamed of, know this: I have the power to restore what time has tried to take away. I can return what was taken. I can heal what seemed irreversible. I can write a new chapter even when everything indicates the story has come to an end. And more than that, I can multiply what seemed lost. Because I am the God who makes the impossible seem simple. What is difficult for you, for me, is but one word: let there be. And when I say, let there be, even what has died breathes again. So calm your heart now. Silence the voices of fear, anxiety, and doubt. Let my peace envelop you completely. Take a deep breath and realize, I am here, not just in the video, not just in the words you heard. I am there with you, within the environment you are in right now, touching areas of your heart that were hardened, releasing feelings you've held back for too long. I know the drawers of your soul. I know exactly where you hid what you thought you could never release. And I tell you with all tenderness, you don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to pretend everything is okay when it's not. You just need to remember who is with you, who promised they would never leave you. Even if the circumstances haven't changed yet, something within you has already begun to shift. Even if the doors are still closed, the heavens have already begun to move. Even if the answers haven't yet come, my spirit is already aligning everything so that you will understand in due time. You are no longer the same. The light that began to ignite within you will expand. It will heal, it will guide, it will renew everything around you, because where I place my presence, darkness cannot resist. Where I breathe my voice, everything comes to life again. Where I tread, even the driest valley blooms anew. So rest, trust, continue, because heaven hasn't given up on you, and I, even less. I didn't bring you this far to leave you alone halfway. I didn't begin this process to abandon you halfway. I'm faithful to finish everything I started, and the work I began in you will reach its end. Not an end of frustration, but of glory. An end where you will look back and understand that all the tears, all the sleepless nights, all the silences, and all the no's were part of a greater plan. A plan that prepared you for what is to come. There is a purpose behind your pain, and now it is no longer a burden. It becomes a testimony. Because I was with you every moment, and I still am, in every breath, in every step, in every difficult decision you will need to make from now on. I will be by your side. No matter what anyone says, no matter how many times you slip up or feel tired of trying, I will not give up on you. The world may abandon you, but I remain. Because I don't look at your flaws, I look at your heart. And your heart still desires me, still seeks me, still belongs to me. Allow yourself to be renewed now. Not just emotionally, but spiritually. Let my presence strengthen you in areas that were weakened. May my spirit lift up what time has torn down. May my voice erase the accusations that tried to paralyze you, because from now on, you no longer walk in fear, but in faith. No longer walk with doubts, but with conviction. No longer walk trying to please everyone, but remembering who called you, who separated you, who sustained you when no one else was around. And before this moment ends, make a commitment to me, not of perfection, but of permanence. Promise that you will no longer walk alone. Promise that even when afraid, you will continue to seek me. Promise that you will no longer silence your pain, but will allow it to be healed by my presence. Because from today, I begin something new in you. Now take another deep breath and say softly, if you wish, Lord, I continue. Even without understanding everything, I continue. Because I know you are with me. And I tell you, that's enough. That already moves heaven. That already changes the environment. That already heals the soul. You are not alone, and you never will be again. Now that you've received this word, I need to tell you something important. The journey isn't over yet. What you've felt so far is just the beginning. This message was the key, but there's a door that still needs to be opened. And for that, I've prepared another step, another revelation. Because what's to come will complete what was initiated in your spirit today. There is a continuation, and it's essential for everything to fall into place. Within you, son, you didn't get here by chance. Nothing revealed in this video was random. Every word, every pause, every moment of silence was carefully guided by my spirit to touch deep areas of your soul that needed to be awakened. There are layers within you that still need to be accessed, wounds that haven't yet been fully healed, callings that haven't yet been understood. And now, at this very moment, heaven is calling you to move forward. You are in the midst of a divine process, a path that seems hidden to the natural eye, but which is being revealed spiritually, step by step. And this revelation cannot be stopped here, because I have initiated something in you. And whatever I start, I finish. But to do that, you need to keep going. You need to stay. You need to move with me. And the next video isn't just more content. It's the exact sequel to what was released today. It's the answer to questions that still echo in your heart. The video is called God's Silence Has a Purpose. And it carries something you need to hear before making the next decisions in your life. I know you've been through times when you begged for direction and all you heard was silence. You've felt your prayers hit the ceiling. You've wondered why, just when you needed me most, I was silent. But in the next video, I'll show you that my silence was never indifference. It was protection. It was strategy. It was love. Because often it's in silence that I speak most. It's in silence that I prepare. It's in silence that I shape character, remove the noise from the soul, and reposition the heart. And perhaps you haven't understood yet, but the time when everything seemed to stand still was actually the time when I was most actively working behind the scenes in your life. In the next video, you'll see all of this clearly. Don't stop now. Don't think this is enough. There is much more being released to you. There are promises yet to be revealed, secrets heaven still wants to entrust to you. But only those who endure until the end receive the full revelation. You've come this far. Don't stop. I'm calling you to go deeper, because there is a movement happening, a silent but powerful movement. And those who discern this time walk ahead. They understand sooner. They receive sooner. This next video is the continuation of what heaven began in you today. It was recorded under the same spiritual direction. It carries the same prophetic mantle. The same anointing that touched you now will intensify when you take this next step. Don't put it off. Don't say, I'll watch it later. The time for your response is now, because the enemy always tries to interrupt the process halfway. He always tries to convince the heart to stop at the beginning of the miracle. But you are not one of those who retreat. You are one of those who continue, who believe, who remain. And because of this, you will see the full glory. By clicking on the next video, you'll be saying, Lord, I want more. I need to understand your ways. Show me what I haven't yet seen. And I tell you, those who seek me sincerely with hunger, with thirst, they find, they receive. They are flooded with a peace that has no logic, with answers that seem to have been tailor-made. And that's exactly what's going to happen to you. Because this video series is no ordinary sequence. It was built to guide weary hearts to a new spiritual understanding. Each episode is like a prophetic step that brings you closer to complete revelation. And today you've already taken the first step. You've unlocked access. Now it's time to enter, because a new atmosphere awaits you, an atmosphere of revelation, of healing, of renewal, an atmosphere where silence ceases to be absence and becomes understanding. My son, what you carry within you is too precious to be left halfway. The promise that rests upon your life cannot be buried because of momentary doubts. You must continue nurturing what was planted in your heart today. Because if you stop now, the enemy will try to suffocate the seed. He will try to steal what has already begun to sprout. But if you continue, this seed will blossom. And what was pain will become testimony. What was silence will become direction. And what was despair will become purpose. This is the time for your turning point. This is the time for you to position yourself, not just as one who listens, but as one who responds. Because today's word has called you, but the next videos will move you. It will take you from where you are and reposition you at the center of what I have prepared. Can you feel it? Something has already begun to shift within you. Don't ignore this touch. Don't ignore this impulse from the Spirit. This is heaven saying, son, go a little further. I'm taking you to a place you never imagined you'd reach. Now, before going to the next video, write in the comments, I will continue. Declare this with faith. Declare it as someone who understands that it's not just about watching, but about surrendering to the process. And then click, because the next message carries the answer your spirit has long sought. Now that your soul has been touched, now that your faith has been rekindled, I want to declare a final blessing upon your life. May the peace that comes from above invade every corner of your heart. May the light of my presence continue to shine upon you even when the days are dark. May you no longer waste time blaming yourself for what has passed, nor worrying about what has not yet arrived, because from today onwards, I walk with you even more visibly. You're not leaving this video empty. You're leaving carrying seeds, seeds of hope, of direction, of restored faith. And I tell you, water these seeds with prayer and share them with those who need it. There's someone who's praying silently for a sign, and this video could be the answer I want to use through you. If this word touched your heart, don't leave without signing up. This channel is not just a place for videos, it's an altar, a space where I speak to you day after day. When you subscribe, you connect with an environment where heaven continues to pour out guidance, comfort, and strength. And if you want to go further, share this message with someone you love, because you have been reached. But now it's time to reach others too. And remember, heaven continues to watch over you with love, and I continue to write your story with my own hands.